Well, Happy New Year's, guys. It's been one hell of a year, hasn't it? 2020 was crazy, and for lack of anything else, it was one to remember. But, with that being said, it wasn't a terrible year for gaming. There was some terrible things going on throughout the year, that's for sure. But the gaming side of 2020 was pretty solid, I think. And so I kind of wanted to do a list of my favorite experiences that I had this year. Or I should say last year. Wow, it's still really crazy to think that we're in 2021 now. Yeah. Anyways, so I decided to do a sort of best experiences list. And originally I was going to do like a top whatever best games of 2020. But I see a lot of other people doing that. And I like to try to do things at least a little bit different here. And so I broke them down into different categories. So the best way to explain this is just to probably dive into it. So let's just start with my favorite multiplayer experience of 2020. And that one's pretty easy. In my opinion, there's no other game that kind of jumped to the forefront of pop culture and just internet culture in general quite like Fall Guys. Except for immediately afterwards with Among Us. Yeah, Fall Guys didn't live for very long. It's kind of crazy to think already, but this game was top dog just about like 4 months ago or so. What's weird is that it didn't really do anything wrong either. People just kind of stopped playing it. Personally, I chalk it up to the lack of new content. The minigames were pretty solid, with only a couple of them being what I would consider bad. The problem was there just wasn't enough of them, so it often felt like I was playing the same 3 to 5 minigames in a row, over and over again. Also, on PC there is a huge hacker problem that isn't really there anymore, but back when the game launched, man, it was pretty disheartening to get deep into a minigame just to see one asshole soar past you 100 miles an hour. I know it probably sounds like I don't like Fall Guys, but I swear I do, or did. I don't know, it's sort of a weird relationship right now. But back when it launched, man, everyone was playing this freaking game. I sunk a lot of time into this bad boy, as I actually unlocked every item from the first season pass. But alas, nothing lasts forever, and it seems like most people moved on rather quickly from Fall Guys. And it made quite an impact, at least on me. And my fiance. It's a game that me and my fiance still actually boot up from time to time. We kind of slowed down with it quite a bit, but I think we're just getting to the point where we might get back into it again a little bit. This next section is sort of a little bit of a cheat. This next category is best retro games, and honestly, I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide between two games in particular that came out this year and just blew me away. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2, and then that came out, and I sunk a ridiculous amount of time into that right from the get-go, and unlocked everything and beat everything right in the beginning. This game just feels awesome to play. The devs really nailed it. My skills have definitely taken a bit of a hit over the years, but the most important thing about a Tony Hawk game was achieved here. It feels fast, snappy, and responsive. It didn't take me long before I was busting out massive combos and grinding more rail than a single mother of 4. The OG soundtrack mostly returns, and the new graphics are just drop-dead gorgeous. But also, we got SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated this year, and that game speaks to me even probably more so from my childhood, even more than Tony Hawk. I mean, let's be real, Tony Hawk is a part of, I think, almost all of our childhoods at this point. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated just kind of came out of nowhere for me. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom was a fantastic game from the PS2 era. I remember trying quite hard as a kid to try to beat this game, and you know what? I don't think I ever did. I mean, I really don't have a memory of it, so if I did, it doesn't count. Luckily, this amazing remaster came out and allowed me to fulfill that childhood dream. I know, a little over the top, but it's a damn good game. And it was absolutely awesome to be able to play and see the game how I sort of remembered it as a kid. Even though I know it doesn't look like that, it definitely did a good job capturing what I thought or what I remembered the game looking like. So this next experience, or this next category, is sort of the wild card of the bunch, right? This is the best breakthrough experience, a game that I thought that I would never see myself playing, a game that I thought maybe, a game that I definitely never had much interest in. I knew of its existence, and that was kind of the extent of it. So for the best breakthrough experience of 2020, it has to go to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I mean, it started off with the graphics, right? Just the how beyond beautiful the game really looks. It is truly breathtaking. Even on my terribly outdated hardware, it can still just make my jaw hang in disbelief that we are at the point where we have the entire planet of Earth inside of a video game for us to explore. And that is just mind-boggling. It started with the graphics, and then I realized the entire planet is there. And I don't know anything about flying. I mean, I literally, I don't know a thing about airplanes besides that they can take off and stay in the air through some sort of air magic. That is the extent of my knowledge with airplanes. But yet I sunk probably 100 hours or more just flying to places that I used to go as a kid. One of the first places I went to is I flew over Disney World, and that was just wonderful to kind of see, even though it's technically a no-fly zone in real life. One of my favorite things to do in Flight Simulator is to set the time late in the evening, just before sunset. I'll take off and just listen quietly. The hum of the engines, the dash washed in the glow of the lights emitting from the instruments. This game, if you can even rightfully call it that, became my comfort zone. It became my safe space during the last year as I quarantined away from family and friends. Months on end sometimes without seeing another face other than my lovely fiancée. Sometimes it would just get to be too much. So I would load up this game and just take to the skies. Get above it all. Get above all of my problems. I don't know. Maybe it sounds cheesy, but Flight Simulator definitely holds a special place in my heart now. The Microsoft Flight Simulator was truly something I didn't see myself playing, and I played it way more than I could have ever imagined. And finally, to top the list, even though these were in no particular order and they're not numbered or anything, but the final category is the best single-player experience of 2020. And that, in my opinion, is going to be a little bit of a spicy one, a little bit of a controversial one, probably. It's got to be Cyberpunk 2077. And I feel like the game has gotten a lot of hate, and rightfully so. I mean, the game definitely has its issues, and CD Projekt Red, they were caught lying, and what they did and what they put out on the PS4 and last gen consoles was just laughable, and they should have to pay some sort of consequence for that, because that was just absolutely ridiculous. But the game on PC, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I sunk over 150 hours into the game. I beat it like 2 or 3 times already, and it's January, 13th? It's January 13th, and I've beaten the game 3 times since it's been out. It's only been out for a month, barely a month. For me, Cyberpunk 2077 was a no-brainer for this category. I haven't been this invested and enthralled by a game in a very, very long time. I beat everything this game has to offer, pretty much, besides a couple of cars that need to be bought and a glitched gig or two that refuses to be completed for one reason or another. I'm not anything close to being a completionist, but this is dangerously close for me. That alone speaks volumes for me with this game. Of course, this isn't my review of the game, just kind of some quick thoughts and praisings, but be sure to check out my full review if you're interested in my thoughts on the game. The hate for Cyberpunk has become loud and clear, and like I said, rightfully so. But one unfortunate happening from this whole situation seems to be the aggression or resentment towards those people that don't have anything negative to say about their experience with the game. It feels almost like those of us that enjoyed our time need to hide, as I've seen large groups of people in forums and comments attacking those who had fun with the game. It's kind of sad to see gamers turn on ourselves like that. It sucks that so many people are having a bad time with Cyberpunk. It sucks that so many people got ripped off from lack of transparency by the devs. But to start turning on each other to the point of death threats and violence over liking a game, that's just ridiculous. Is that really who we are as a people in 2021? I don't think so. We can do better than this. The game captured something in me that I didn't know that I wanted. It fulfilled a need that I didn't know I had. It opened my eyes up to a whole new type of game that I had just never really experienced before, and it made me go out to look for more, and I realized that Cyberpunk, even though it didn't fulfill all of its promises, and not by a long shot too, it's still a very unique game. There's not anything else out there really quite like it. And I absolutely fell in love with the world of Night City and the lore and the characters and the environments and the graphics. I mean, every game that came out this year is just beautiful, but Cyberpunk 2077 somehow managed to find a way to make things look even better, and I don't understand how. Unless you're playing on PS4. If you're playing on PS4, then it looked kind of like a melting Picasso painting, but on PC, it was really quite something special, and I was able to get immersed into a world that I haven't been able to in a long time. And it was kind of nice to experience that again in a game, and kind of reminded me why I love video games, which was definitely something that I kind of needed, as I'm still spending way too much time quarantined inside doing nothing but playing video games. They're starting to just all merge into one game. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I know it's a little bit off the cuff, but I think I don't know about you, but 2020 was a pretty good year for gaming in general. And there was a lot of games that I enjoyed, and I just wanted to share them with you, the ones that I thought were the coolest, the top of the top, the cream of the crop. What about you? What games did you play in 2020 that you absolutely loved and blew away your expectations? Feel free to use the same categories as me so we can maybe compare. And also, if you like what you saw here, there's plenty more to come in the very near future, especially as we venture on into yet another new year. Here's to 2021, guys. Let's make it a good one. Till next time.